All right, guys. I want to welcome everybody to our Superstars Training Tuesday training, STU. I'm extremely excited about our training today because this one is a game changer, all right? I want to go ahead and just without further ado, go ahead and introduce our trainer for today. You guys, this young lady here, she is amazing. It's easy to almost say what she doesn't do versus what she does do. She does so much. She is a mother of many. She's in full-time ministry. She is an executive sales director with our company. She is a wonderful wife. She has a calling in ministry. I think she missed her secondary calling in being a comedian, but that's okay. But without further ado, guys, I mean, this young lady is just phenomenal. She has taught me so much. When I first came into business, she was so welcoming. She treated me like family, and I'm so forever grateful to her for that. And so, guys, without further ado, for this game-changing training here today, I want to welcome Executive Sales Director Ro Jones. Ro, you on?
I am. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you great.
So I want to just give it right back to you. It wasn't treating you just like family. You are family. What you talking about? You are my brother. No, I want to give it back to you for real because like I said, always, I am ecstatic when I see you move in business because you already had a great work ethic and a great knowledge of business. So you talking about learning from me, I learned from you, okay? It's been a give and take type situation here, just the wisdom that you give and how to move in business, and not just move in business, but move with people in business. Like you got that all the way down. So you guys, I am going to, I see you, Devon. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Let's see here. I think I'm just going to share the whole computer. And we're going to go to the presentation. So last time that we did this call, we talked about building relationships, networking, because that's what we do. And we ended it, and we kind of ran through the consultation because I wanted to talk about building the relationship with your client. And you can do that within the first 15 minutes by adding value. So now we're going to dig a little deeper into the consultation because you want to be confident in what you're offering. You know, we are in one of the greatest businesses where you can make money and know nothing about what you really do. But we do want to be able to, y'all, look who called me. Oh, he just hung up. It was Tony. Like, sir. All right. So you want to actually, I think we could close more. So, you know, in the beginning, we kind of like stumbled through this business, but it's posture. Everything's posture. And we're more confident when we're knowledgeable. Will we all agree with that? If you agree with that statement, put some ones in the chat box. If you feel like you're more confident when you're knowledgeable, put some ones in the chat box. I want to see how y'all feeling about that statement. But then let me take a poll while these ones are coming in. My next question is going to be, how many do y'all actually feel like you're confident in looking at reports and actually giving out what should be done? If you feel confident, put twos in. Okay, awesome. That's good. If you're not confident, let me see some threes. Come on with the transparency. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. Yes. 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 All right. Listen. So I'm going to be real transparent. I wasn't confident until this year. So I got all the way to ESD and wasn't confident. All right. I mean, I knew that our services worked, but how many of us understand that just removing negative items from the report is not all that it takes to actually pull somebody's scores up, right? So that requires us to know more. And when you know more, you can ask for more. We don't go to the best doctors, the best lawyers, and they got a degree in backyard university. Like, that's just not happening, right? You're not, somebody tells you that you have cancer, you are now about to go to a hospital that specializes in cancer, right? We're not about to go where they do braces. It doesn't make sense, right? So the obvious thing is people look for specialty knowledge and they pay more because you have that specialty knowledge. So this particular training today is going to take you through the journey of what I had to do to get this posture right so that I didn't hear any more no's. Y'all ready? All right, there's somebody not muted. Okay, there we go. All right, so as you can see, we're gonna go through Credit Karma, providing value from the start. First things first, because I know many of you are probably asking, why Credit Karma? Of all the free avenues we have, your client is going to ask you that. Some are even going to try and tell you, well, I got Experian, right? Some going to say, I use Credit Sesame. Listen, you're the expert. Do not let somebody deviate you from what you do. You're the expert. They want your help. Credit Karma is free, so there's no reason why they can't download Credit Karma. Am I not right? So let's talk about the pros of why. And so when you get that, rejection of using Credit Karma, here's some great things about Credit Karma that we probably don't even take into account. It has 2 out of the 3 reports. So while most people use Experian, and may use other like Credit Sesame, Credit Wise, because they get it free for Capital One. You only getting your TransUnion score if you're using Credit Wise and Credit Sesame. And it's still going to be Advantage 3.0. Experian, Experian is the shortest report you got. Why would you want to look at that one? It's the shortest one. Notice that usually the scores are the lowest on Experian because it has the least amount of information. Typically, you will find only banking institutions reporting there and large corporations. You got to remember, our presentation literally tells us everything we need to know. Your creditors pay to report. So the small mom and pop shop cannot afford to report to all 3. Typically, they're going to choose TransUnion, right? So that's why TransUnion look like a CVS receipt, right? It's long. It's got everything that you did from the time you started building credit all the way up until now, and probably your parents too. Okay? And Equifax always falls somewhere in the middle. Experian is always the shortest. Now, why would I want to use that one? I use Credit Karma because I get TransUnion and Equifax. I need to know the full details. I want to see as much information as I possibly can without you paying for a credit score or the ability to go get your reports. All right. The other thing is that it actually tells your client what caused the change to their credit score, right? We're going to look at that in a minute. So when the score goes up, they can actually click that button that says see what changed, and it will actually tell them what caused the change, which ultimately helps your client change their behavior. That's important. Because when they keep seeing all these greens for paying down their cards, guess what's going to keep happening? They're going to keep paying down them cards. When they start seeing all the orange colors for cards going up, guess what's going to happen? Maybe I should stop doing that. Yeah, you think? When all the negative items are showing up on the report and it's orange, 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 and that score is drop, 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 drop. After a while, they'll get the message. That's what I like Credit Karma for. And then lastly, it's a much easier interface for consumers to understand their report. After I go through the Credit Karma consultation, people understand. When you're looking at your regular credit report, it's really hard to understand. But looking at Credit Karma makes it a lot easier. And then on top of that, they're not looking at one report, they're looking at 2. Now, the con. Yep, it's Advantage 3.0 score. It's not a FICO. And you guys, there's a FICO 8, there's a FICO 9, and I just heard there's a FICO 10 that just came out. All right. And all 3 of those FICO scores will not be the same, just as much as your Advantage 3.0 isn't. So one of the key things that I definitely do make them aware of is that there is a Advantage 3.0 score that they're looking at on Credit Karma. So if you go get a car and they say your score is different, that's why. It's not a FICO. So they're already prepared. All right. So now, sick people go look for a doctor. People with bad credit scores come look for you. You are the doctor for credit scores. So everyone who pressed 3s and said they were not comfortable yet with actually prescribing medicine to fix the issue, today, you're about to get your PhD, okay? All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to the basics, because if you don't understand the basics, y'all, then the Credit Consultation ain't gonna make much sense. Yep, you can do it because we got a credit cheat sheet there, and I literally tell you what to do, but at the end of the day, that's not gonna help your confidence, right? Because as long as you leaning on a crutch, you still got an issue with your leg. We wanna make sure you can stand on all 2 feet. I want you to be able to understand that if somebody rang off some numbers to you, you can readily say, oh, that's a problem, that's a problem, that's a problem, and you need to do this and you need to do that, whether you see it or not. Okay? When we're leaning on resources that have been given to us to close, you still need the resources. So someone can just walk up to you and be like, hey, I got this, and this. And then if you don't have the resources, you're like, let me get back to you. No, take control of your business today. That's what this is about. Let's start with the basics. We see this information on our presentation every week. Most of us have not sat down long enough to even figure out what is it saying to us to fix our own credit. So today, let's talk. Payment history. And this is not going to be the Rashonda show. As you can see, there's questions here. And yep, y'all going to answer them. All right, so payment history makes up 35% of the score. It is the largest portion of the calculation of the credit score. So paying on time is highly important, and your scores can drop 40 to 100 points when you miss one missed payment. So when you're talking to a client and you seeing that they missing payments for credit cards, and them credit cards like $300 credit limits, we already know those payments ain't no more than $39, if that, depending on who it is, which creditor it is. So you're willing to take a 100-point drop, a 40-point drop for a $25 payment? Pay the bill and stop going to McDonald's. That's how, you see the posture changes when you understand. Now you can correctly say something to someone and it's the truth. You know what I mean? They're coming to you for help. You can give them the truth. So you want to encourage your clients to make on-time payments consistently. Now my question is, so if your client has, and you can unmute yourself too if you see the question and you understand what I'm asking. So if your client has NA, meaning not applicable or no data, or anything below 98% in payment history, what products or services do we offer that can help establish payment history or readjust their payment history? Anybody?
I secure
Credit my rent.
Okay, somebody, who said secure card?
Tracy.
Tracy said secure card, and someone said credit my rent.
Chanel.
Chanel. Both are right, but I'm gonna tell you credit my rent is the game changer for changing payment history. Anybody know why?
Because it can add up to, it can add multiple years to your report.
All right.
You can go back 1 year or 2 years. So it would increase your payment history if you're paying on time.
Okay, absolutely. So let's put this in perspective here. Let's put this in perspective. Your client got 75%. They got 41 late payments. They're getting ready to add credit my rent to the report. 24 new on-time payments are about to come into the report. The average has to change. Now they ain't gonna be 100% because it's still not more than how many late payments they got. But the average has to readjust now. Okay, which will push that payment history up. And as Chanel just said, it changes the credit age as well, which we're gonna get to. This is the reason why adding credit my rent to the report can give you such a big jump. When you're talking about seeing, 60, 70, 130 point jumps, it's because the payment history, which counts for 35% of your score, is now being tapped into. Now, anybody want to tell me one type of thing that they can do that has nothing to do with our services, is absolutely free? What can they do to change the payment history? There's one more thing that can be done. Nope, not self. It has to do with credit cards. What else can be done that can
Set up automatic payments, maybe?
Hold on, say that again, Gigi.
Yes.
Set up automatic payments, maybe?
Be added to
Yeah, but not instantly. Not instantly. Is that Levi?
Bring the payments down to 7%.
Nope. That's not
Open
what
a new account.
row.
Authorized user,
Yes, who said that?
Zankita.
Absolutely. I thought I heard it before. Authorized user. Why can an authorized user change the payment history?
Because you inherit the payment history from the main user.
Houston, we have the answer.
And it can also do the opposite, though. It can negatively affect it.
It absolutely
Correct.
can. But that's why, okay, so we'll talk about that in a second, but we want to make sure, like, if you look at the actual credit cheat sheet, I said make sure y'all know that the client is taking all of the risks. So whoever they're doing authorized users with, they better make sure that they have a good conversation. So it's ideally going to be somebody like the parent, grandparent, auntie, you know, somebody who's been making payments on a card for a long time, like more than 7 years, and they don't have no late payments on it, because whatever's on that account, they're going to inherit. But so let's put that into view. The same person got 41 late payments. They get on their mama's card. Card is 15 years old, and she don't got no late payments. This person is about to experience a heck of a jump. Correct? Everybody understand that? 100 point, exactly, Whitney.
Yes.
All right. Any questions on payment history? Self-lender can help. It's just gonna be effective. You know, it's just coming in. It's information coming in, not. The questions that I was really looking for is what could, like, Credit My Rent and being an authorized user can just dump information on the report instantly and change it permanently right then and there within the next 60 days. Self-lender is going to change it over time. A new credit card would change it over time because, again, we need time for those things. It's going to be one payment at a time that's going to change or affect the payment history. But if you do a Credit My Rent and add 24 payments or add an authorized user account, those type things will shift the account instantly. Okay. All right, let me see what's in here. Kay said, hey, Ro, I have someone wanting Credit My Rent but has been late once. Where have they been late at, Kate? Is it in dead amount? Is it like dead smack in the middle? Or just, you know?
It was like early on in the year.
The actual landlord may not report it. Just ask.
That's what I was thinking.
It's a chance that they might not even report it, because if they ain't in front of the information right then and there, I mean, and if they got a good relationship with a landlord, tell them what they're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? Usually when you have a landlord, it's a little easier. You know what I'm saying? When it's property manager, it's a little different. But just have, because it's a verbal. It's not like a lease is being handled over.
That makes sense.
All right. Author, who's this? Whitney said, I believe it only adds on-time payments. No, I mean, you do want to, because they do ask that question, if whether or not they've ever been late, right? So, you know, currently for TransUnion, if you feel like say if you do got a person who has never paid their rent on time, put it at a different house. Go put it at their mama's house. That's how my son, he got mine. I'm his landlord. He don't never pay rent.
Ro, they didn't ask me about payment when I put my fiance on. They didn't ask me about if he ever was late. I guess it's whoever calls you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then they ask you trick questions to ensure that you're the person. So if somebody uses somebody, use the actual person you put down, because they asked me questions about an address in New York. I couldn't even remember. I said, hold on, let me think. And, you know, so make sure if you do put your cousin or somebody you
It
So,
needs,
yeah.
it has, because they're going to ask you questions about the property to make sure that you are the owner of the property. All right. Roll. Okay. Hold on, once I did CRM. Yep. For my son, I got no questions at all. I just, yep, he live here, and that was it. Yep, 400. That's all I got. So it depends on who's calling. How long does it take a client to see the changes from 45 days? We got a lot of new clients, y'all. So tell your clients 45 to 60. All right. So Lance is in here answering questions. Thank you so much, VP. Moving on. Next area. The amount owed has to do with credit card utilization. It is your second largest portion of your credit score. So between payment history and your credit cards, the areas you want to make sure you got right, right? So anytime I log into somebody's credit card or somebody tell me, you know, if they don't give me the logins and I say, what's your payment history? And they tell me NA, I automatically know credit age is NA and they have no credit cards, period. All areas are now going to be no data. So that's something that you can, and I don't know for what reason that wows people. Like the moment you say, like, dang, how you know that? Like, you don't got no payment history, you definitely ain't got no credit cards. Duh. You don't got, it's not rocket science. It's just normal, right? So with your credit card utilization, this has to do with how people use their cards. Typically, we want to see below 30%. But y'all remember, if you got people paying their cards down to just 30%, the moment they spend $1 over that 30%, their score is going to drop. So you really want to be telling them to bring it down to 7% so they can at least have some wiggle room to use that card. All right. So I never tell anyone get them down to 30. I actually tell them get them down to 7% because they're going to want to use the card again. And the whole idea is to actually transform their thinking that you do not have a $300 credit card. You got a $90 credit card, right? That's what you got. You don't have $1,000. You got $300. That's what you have, right? So that's where you want to shift their minds to. So again, if they had a $1,000 card and you're getting them to pay down to $300 and that's it, they can't spend any more. That score is going to drop again. So now here's the question here. So if your client has no data or not applicable, what services do we offer to fix no data? I thought I saw the answer. No, I didn't. What services do we offer? Okay, right. Whitney just said secure card.
Yeah.
Now, here's another question. What services do we offer to fix it for those who have credit card utilization over 30%? Sorry, y'all, my family coming in. I love you, baby. Yes, debt payoff tool. Absolutely. So that's something that should come up. The moment that you see that those cards are all out of whack, we had a debt payoff system that'll help you pay those cards down. Right. And depending on how many cards they have lately, I have been getting people with like lots of cards. I will actually go through and take my calculator out and hold on, let me see if I can do this real quick on screen. Take the calculator out, and I will definitely go through their credit cards with them to show them what they should be paying. So take for instance, they got $1,000, right? So we already know 300 is what they should be using, right? So if they're at, let's say they're at 780. All right, and I really want you down to $50. Sir, you need to get 730 down on this card. Right, so now I'm literally I'm giving them everything that, like, ain't no excuses. Okay, well, then you get off the phone with me, you know exactly what you need. You have a roadmap to improving your credit. All right, I actually get people who say, well, what do I owe you for the consultation? When I get done with the consultation. All right, so moving on. I need to come down. Sorry, y'all. So again, yes, the first progress card. And do you know that self-lender will offer a secure card?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Self-lender will offer a secure card. In fact, I think I got one in my wallet. Sitting right here somewhere. Okay. So once your client has been in the service and they've paid $100 down, self-lender will offer the card. All right. So every now and then I will run into a person. I'm sorry, y'all, for this phone ringing. I will run into a person who said they cannot get the first progress card. Like I've been running into it now this year more than any, where First Progress is not giving them a card. And that's usually because they didn't have a card with First Progress and they didn't do what they're supposed to, right? So self-lender is a really cool alternative to help the client. Another, I'll get this one out. First Premier, might want to write that one down because it's not in the presentation. First Premier, they do need to have a decent credit score. And it is going to be an unsecured. They will pay $96 for it, and the annual is $100. So they're gonna pay $96 for the card, and y'all, this credit card APR is like 32%. It's high. All right, it's awful. But if we're trying to get what we got to get done, we got to get done. We got to get done. All right. But let's see. So $96 to get the card. When they get their first bill is going to have $100 annual fee, and they're, once they paid it off, they got the full $400 available. But remember, there's really $120 is all they got. Okay. Divine has a question. Yes. Cannot hear you. It's
Tracy
right.
had a good question in the chat box.
Okay. Can somebody monitor the chat box so I'm not missing nobody?
Tracy asked the question, will the score drop if they max their cards and pay in full every month?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We shouldn't be maxing our cards. You want to stay steady below that 30%, Now say life happens, y'all, right? When life happens and you got to use that card in full, know your reporting date. Because if you know the reporting date and you can get it paid before it reports, it'll be like you never used it. Devon, did you put it in the chat or did you unmute? You still there with me? If you can hear me, put it in the chat and I'll answer it. All right.
Hello.
Yes.
How you doing? It's Donald Matt.
What's going on?
I had a client today. I had a quick question on that. On the what's the other credit builder that Lance talk about all the time?
So?
Nope, not Self. The other one.
Credit Strong.
Not Credit Karma.
Credit Strong.
Not Credit Strong. It's
Lance,
a real
you there?
popular one. The one with the utility bills and everything.
Oh,
Are
Experian
you talking
Boost.
about the Experian Boost?
Right. So I had a question.
You never know what Donald's talking about. He's talking about everything.
So my question is, Experian Boost. Okay, this is my question, Lance. So this guy, he has weak credit. He's gonna get on the program to clean up some things, but he doesn't have any of the utilities or anything in his name. If he got on that product just because he lives in that residence, does that still help him even though his wife has all the utilities in her name?
Experian Boost is for people that pay their bills through their bank account. Yeah. And it's not a bank account that's a credit union. It's got to be like a major bank, like I don't know what you guys have down there, but a Fifth Third Bank, a Wells Fargo.
Right, Wells Fargo.
I may be breaking up on you guys.
We hear you. We hear you.
Am I breaking up?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be a major bank, Donald. It's got to be a major bank. It's got to be a Wells Fargo, a Fifth Third Bank. It cannot be a credit union. As
Gotcha.
long as
So
they pay that with their debit card or their bank
checking account.
they
Okay.
can add all the bills that they want, and it doesn't even, like, they could be even late on it. They could be late in the past. They could be late in the future.
Okay,
Experian
cool.
Boost will only report what's paid on time. That's it. So it's a great program. It's free, and people think that it's from us. So make
Okay.
sure when you talk about the credit card, when you talk about the Credit My Rent, when you talk about the $500 card, when you talk about the credit restoration with the protection plan, make sure you make them think that, hey, Experian Boost is part of us. Hey, did you know that we can add your rental? We not only add your rental history, but we can add your cell phone, your utilities, your cable, your water. Hey, do you have Netflix? Netflix now reports on the credit bureau. So if you can add all that to the credit bureau, you're getting about a 50-point boost. If you can add 3 or 4, you're adding about a 30-point boost. If you can add 1 or 2, it's about a 10-point boost, but it's free. And they think it's from us. So when they see that instant boost, they're gonna sign up for the protection plan. They're gonna sign up for the credit restoration, the credit card, the $500 card, because they see the value in what we offer.
Yeah.
Hey, Lance.
Good info.
I'm
Yep.
so sorry. I have a quick question. I heard you say you cannot use a credit union. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Navy Federal Credit Union. That would not be a bank to use.
Credit unions are privately held banks. They are not like they're not Fannie and Freddie. They're not like I don't know where you're from, but from Fifth Third Bank, Wells Fargo.
More of a commercial bank, Lance?
Any 99.9% of the credit unions are privately held, and they're not part of the Experian Boost. So what you're going to tell the people, hey, listen, do you pay all your bills through your bank account or through your or debit card? Great. Is it through a credit union or a regular bank? They say credit union. Immediately send them to the link so they can start paying their bills through a major bank. Once they make that third payment, they can add that history to their credit report. But anybody that's with the credit union, 99.999%, they're not going to be able to use that free Experian Boost.
All right, good.
Okay,
No,
thank
that's
you.
not. Oh, no, Kayla. No, Kayla. That's not that. That's not that. No. That's something totally different. That's totally different. He's talking about the Experian Boost. Experian gives you an opportunity to utilize utilities. Utilities do not show up on credit reports.
Correct.
Right? Utilities do not show up on credit reports. So Experian is giving consumers an opportunity to utilize their utilities to boost their credit scores. Okay, so if you have a loan with the credit union or credit cards, those are reported. However, you gotta, you want to check just with any bank and any credit union. Not all banks and not all credit unions actually report to all three. So you do need to know if they are reporting to all three. Okay, but that's something that's totally separate. So that's a good question, Kayla. Thank you for that. All right, you guys, let's go on to the next biggest chunk of your credit score is length of credit, which is 15% of the score. You guys, this is the hardest area to tap into because you need time. So I talked to a client a couple of days ago, and her old girl decided to start closing accounts, and I was trying to figure out why your score is just dropping. She's closing accounts. Who told you to do that? So you want to instruct your clients, we don't close accounts ever. We pay them down, put the card away, and we let them collect their little rinky-dink $2 off the APR, right? Don't pay it off. Leave it just a little on there, because that's the reason why accounts get closed is when 0 times 0, 0. They don't make no money, and you're a bad customer because they're not making money off of you. So they close your accounts. Okay, so you want to leave a little bit, and that's one of the reasons why we tell people do not pay their cards all the way off, especially if they're not going to use them. You want to leave a little bit of a running tab on there so they get their little APR. So Now, question. If your client has no data in credit age, what services do we offer to fix it? We've already answered this question. I want to see if you're paying attention. That is correct, Jade. SD in the house. She got it. That's right. Let's go. Credit My Rent will definitely age the credit. So let's talk about this for a little bit. Do not have your client just put 2 years as the lease just starting 2 years ago because they just starting the Credit My Rent for 2 years. If they've been in that house for 10, put the full 10 there because they actually do post that. They do. So like my son actually has 4 full years on his report, even though he put 2 years on. Okay. So there's several people unmuted. They sign up for the silver. Then still put the full. It's asking for the lease date, not the date that you want to start reporting. Put the lease date. So if they came and moved in, if they've been living with their mama since they was born, put the date that they've been there with their mama. Okay, if they ain't never moved, put the date that they've been there, okay? I'm serious. All right, so that's something that I wanted to make sure we understood that. Now, if your client is under 7 years, what can they do that we don't have? This is free. We kind of talked about this already, but I just want to make sure.
Authorized user.
Yes, thank you. Authorized user. Again, we're going back to this. So a lot of times the same things fix the same issues. But if we can hear the issue and call it off the top of our head, that changes the posture. All right, so very good. Moving on. New credit. Don't want to do credit mix first. Credit mix. 10% of the score. Y'all, we got to have like a good balance here of installment and revolving, right? You can't have all these self-lender credit strong accounts and no credit cards, right? Credit My Rent, like, okay, so like I told you, I had my son on self-lender and Credit My Rent, and he had a good old 682, but still couldn't get nothing. Just couldn't get, need that revolving credit. So let's make sure you guys understand what revolving installment is. Revolving has to do with when you pay off the account, you can still, pay the account down, you still can use that line of credit, a credit card. A home equity line of credit typically is revolving. It may actually have a revolving period and then it switches over to an installment period. You may have that kind of combination thing happening with the home equity line of credit. Installments come with like car payments. Once you pay that car off, that's it. You got to start a new loan to get a new car. Once you pay your house off, that's it. Loan closes. So that's the reason why you got to have a balance of revolving and installment, because installment accounts die off. Revolving can live on forever if you keep them open. So as these installments are closing, you want to be opening up, which we'll talk about the new credit line. Now, what services do we offer? Because I want to make sure you understand the difference between revolving and installment. What services do we offer that are revolving? I know these are basic questions, y'all, but I want to treat this like we knew. Exactly. Whitney, secure. Yes, awesome. First progress, we got it. Yes, cool. Then what is an installment opportunity that we have for somebody? Yep, there we go. The hostess with the mostest, Credit My Rent, absolutely is an installment. Good job. Self-lender, is it installment or revolving?
Revolving.
Focus on what I just told you, the new information about it. Can it be both?
Okay,
it can be both. How come? Because they offer you a secure card. So if you take the, so say you do the basics, right? $500 is the basic amount. Hold on one second, because Cam is talking like I'm not training. Cameron! Shh. All right, so you take the 500, right? That's your savings account that you're choosing to go with, they will give you an opportunity to take the card. So say you take the card at the 100, that's your credit limit. Don't take the card at 100, y'all. All right, then that means they're only gonna give you back 400 because 100 is sitting on the card. So currently you have an installment situation happening with self and a revolving happening with self. So self can be both, okay? Everybody following me? All right. New credit, which is simple. Periodically, your client does want to open up new accounts. Obviously, a healthy credit report has 11, a minimum 11 accounts. Nobody's going to open 11 accounts with their client in one credit restoration section. Don't you try to do that. Okay. Don't you try to do that. All right. So we're going to probably at the most get them into over a 6-month span, maybe 4 or 5 accounts. All right. If we're talking about establishing. All right. So just needed to make sure you understand that this counts for 10%. So yes, you know, once somebody gets some accounts open, they do want to start, you know, opening up accounts. I want to piggyback on credit card utilization really quickly because there's something I just got finished doing with my dad yesterday. What is another way you can bring your utilization down?
Increase your score. Well, increase your limit.
Yes. Did we talk about
That's what I was
that?
gonna say.
Did we talk about that?
No.
All right. So let's talk about it real quick. Your client, okay, so my daddy's like sitting at 39%. He really, it's not bad. He just had some dental work done and it was expensive. So shot him over 9% of his utilization. So he like, man, I don't feel like dropping this kind of money down the card. Daddy, you don't. Go increase all your cards. And he was like, huh? Why would I want to do that? Go increase all the cards. So we increased all his cards. And typically, I think he's like maybe 10 grand, which is pushing him over the 30 percentile. We just increased all the cards almost to 20. So he's going to be lower now. Right? So that's something you can do. If your client has good payment history, meaning that they've never been late, they have a decent score, they can call their creditor. And in his case, none of them checked his credit report yesterday. They literally was like, Mr. Jones, what you want? And he got the right to tell them what he wanted, and they gave it to him. All right, so that's a good way to decrease your utilization is by making more money available. Do they rerun your credit when you act? Sometimes, yes. If you got good credit, good payment history, they will give you an option to tell you how much you can take without running your credit. So yesterday, all day long, everybody said the same thing. Mr. Jones, without running your credit, here's what we can give you. What is it that you want? Okay, so he technically didn't have his credit ran on any of the cards that he increased. So there are, yes, typically when you do a credit limit increase, there is going to be a hard pull. But if you got good payment history, you've been with that client, that that particular company for a while, they will give you an option to tell you what they can give you without a hard pull. All right. Now let's get into all right, do everybody understand the basics? We got the basics down? Because if we got the basics down, me running through the consultation should make so much more sense and everybody should be solid and have no problems with doing this consultation on your own. Galaxy Note 5, yes.
I might have missed this, but where should the credit utilization be? What's the sweet spot?
7%.
All right, thank you.
Yep, 7%. Let me see who else is in here. How many on-time payments do you have to make before you usually 6 months, Chanel? I think Jade answered that. If they ask, how much credit cards do you use? Did you say that again?
Well, when I asked for an increase last week, they said how much, what was exactly? They asked me how much do I use the credit card? I can't remember verbatim, but basically it was asking me how much credit will I use? And I didn't know the answer because I heard you say previously ask for an increase, so that's what I did. I got the increase, but I wanted to tell other people.
Oh, they were asking you how much did you want to increase it to?
They didn't ask me that. They asked me how much do I use per month.
Oh, how much do you use per month? So
Gigi,
Yes.
can I piggyback off of that real quick?
Yep, go ahead.
So basically, I had that issue with Capital One. If you're not using your credit limit, you can get denied even if you have excellent payment history, even if you have low utilization, because they'll deny you saying you don't use enough of your limit.
Oh, okay. So basically, say, Jade, you should probably say you need more. Like I had 2,500. I just wanted to increase my numbers. So I told them I needed 5,000 and they gave me 4,000.
That was good. That was good. I thought I saw another question in here. If they ask you how much, that was yours, should your balances be paid down first? You should not be over your utilization trying to get a credit limit increase. However, in my father's case, he was well over. And he still got it. So if you got decent credit and your utilizations are great in every other area, and I think with care credit is a little different because realistically, like it's kind of hard with care credit because you're getting that to do surgery majority of the time, right? So it's a little more lenient with care credit. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to say under 30% when your surgery is 20 grand. What you gonna do? Not use the 20 grand? You're gonna have to use it. So it's a little different.
Hey, Ro.
Mm-hmm.
This is Thedra.
Yes, ma'am.
And typically, I'm just asking because I'm looking at an increase of a customer that a customer sent me. There's a time frame, correct? How many, like, if you had an increase in December, you would typically have to wait, 6 months to another year before you get another increase?
That is correct.
Okay.
That's absolutely correct. I asked for a credit limit increase with my credit card, and they asked for a reason. I said I didn't need it for repurchase, but to increase I did not have any zero balance. Oh, you're not using it. The zero balance. Jade answered that one, Cass. Yeah. If you're not using, if you haven't been using it, again, banks are in a business to make money. So if you're not going to use the money that they're giving them, how they make their money is based off your APR, your interest rate. If you're not using the money, they ain't making none either. So now we about to give you some more so we can just sit here like some sitting ducks. That's the logic. All right, so the credit intake. You guys want to make sure you know how to get to the form. In Superstars, it is under files. We did a revision here. This is the first one. So hold on, let me move all this stuff out the way. Oh, that's the right one. All right, so just so y'all see that there are actually two in here. This is the original one, and then we came back. Jeremy gave some trading lines to add to it, and when you open it up. So if you have job forms right now, you want to make your job form look exactly like that. So I'm gonna show you what mine look like. I have two forms. I got a form for the credit intake, for consultation. So this is here, I'll show it to you. The original form is, so say I've got somebody who wants to have a consultation and I need to get their information. So if I got a trial run running, this is a really good way to capture all that information really quickly. Have them give me, a short synopsis of what's possibly happening with their credit. And then I can follow up with them immediately. So if you want to take a look or screenshot this is your time to do that. So mine just has my logo at the top, intake for the consultation, pathways to better credit and finances. So they already know this is what this is about. I need their name, their email address, their phone number, what the current credit score is and what do they think, what do they have, if they have Credit Karma, because I don't waste my time. Don't get me on the phone and you ain't downloaded it. And then what's negatively impacting their credit. And then I need to know the best time and the day to contact them for a 15-minute consultation. So that's that form. The second form that I do have, which I'm test driving, Devon gave a very good idea to do a mass consultation. Hold on, y'all. Which that's what we're working on now, so that you'll see how that works now, because I'm about to walk you straight through it and we'll be done with this call. So on this JOT form, the date is needed. I need to add one more spot, referral. I want to add that to this. So the date is there, phone number, a name, email address, phone number, the TransUnion and Equifax score, if they know the experience score. I think I'm going to go ahead and add that too. Then what the payment history is, how many late payments there are, credit card utilization, derogatory marks, if they have bankruptcy, credit age, total accounts, how many are open, how many are closed, and then the inquiry. And when they hit submit, I get emailed. All right, so I have it. So as they're going through the process of the services, because I had originally been doing it just on a notebook, right? So as they go through the services, I'm able to actually go back and see what really is the progress without having all their detailed information, all right? So that's one of the key things that I've been trying to keep up with is the serious progress. Let's see what this says. Oh, thank you, Deidre. All right, so I will drop my link so y'all can copy this link in the group. I just need you to have that down. So how this will work if we do a mass. So no different from the opportunity call, right? We send out the Zoom link to get people into the opportunity call and we do the overview. Well, I want to start incorporating a mass Credit Karma consultation. So in the process of doing the overview, right before that overview gets done, and it's going to be a shorter overview because we don't need to go through all of that. Once we done got the idea of what's wrong with everybody's credit, they're going to fill out your link from JOT form. So once they hit submit, you get it. But in the actual call, I'm literally, just like I just went through all of that with y'all to tell y'all, if you see this, this is your issue, this is the product you need. I will literally be doing that through the call, or whoever else is doing the call, or if you now are confident enough to do the call, we all can do the same thing. I just want to make sure all of us are on the same page. You can literally start calling out the services that we have, how it will fix, and then just tell them, hang in. Before, when the call is over, we will get you enrolled. Done. So let's walk through what a consultation look like. Your intake, let's make sure we understand these abbreviated words. PH, payment history. LP, late payments. CC, credit card utilization. Derogatory marks is for DM. Credit age is CA. Total accounts, TA. O is for open accounts. C is for closed accounts. And then I is inquiries. T, TransUnion. E, Equifax. All right, but something that you really need to know when it comes down to Credit Karma, which we're about to show you to it real quick, when you're looking for paid off collections and charge-offs, they will not show up here in the derogatory remarks. They're going to show up inside of accounts. So let's go straight there, and let's hope Credit Karma let me into somebody's stuff, because lately I've been getting locked the heck out and I can't get into nothing. So let's see. Let's try hers. Nope, not gonna work. Hold on, y'all. Let me clear it out. Who's a good one? Let's try hers. This is the frustration. Okay, let me try a different browser. Anybody else had this issue?
Yep, I've been in it too many times in a day.
Oh my goodness, it's like the biggest headache ever. Was this helpful so far? For those who are new, do you now have a better grip on credit and understanding? All right. Oh, VP Kendra Pack is in here, y'all. All right, this lady here has had a crap load of student loans removed, y'all. All right. Now, I'm about to run straight through this because now we got the bases already. This lady started in the low 500s, so she has already seen a lot of work done here. So, y'all ready? I'm about to start it. If I'm on the phone with my client and they have given me access to look at their credit reports, I'm going to walk them through the actual Credit Karma. And this is how it goes. So I'm going to use Demetria. Demetria, you are now the client. Demetria, everyone take your Credit Karma, your phone to Credit Karma so you can follow everything I'm doing. All right, Demetria, do me a favor, tap on TransUnion. And the reason why I choose TransUnion because it's the CVS receipt. That's why I always go there because it has everything for the most part. Up under TransUnion's credit score, once you have done that, you're going to see that it says calculated by Vantage 3.0 score, which basically tells you that this is not a FICO score. So if you go and you try to get something, your scores are going to be a little different. They may be 20 to 40 points off in either direction. Just want to make sure that is clear. The button up under the Vantage 3.0 score says see what change. If you tap on that button, it's going to show you all of the items that have been going on with your credit for the full duration of the year. Okay, so if this is a new client who's just opening up, they ain't gonna have nothing in there. But in this case, this lady has had it for a while. All right, so anything correlating in green shows a score going up, and if you hit the see what change, it will show you what is the item that has caused the score to go up. Anything in orange will actually correlate to the items that is causing your score to go down, and those are the things that we don't want to continue doing. All right, back out one time. And it's going to take you back to the screen that I need you to be at. If you're on your phone, you're going to see the bar graph. I need you to scroll down past the bar graph and you're going to come to 6 boxes, which is the credit factors. This is actually a snapshot of the health of your credit report. I need some information from you. And this is where you're going to, if you got the JOT form and you need it for yourself, or if you got a notebook, then this is where you're going to write your information down. If we're on the call, these persons will actually be utilizing the JOT form and putting this information in those spots. I need to know what your payment history is. And in her case, she's a 98%. But because she's a 98%, I also need to know how many late payments. Anything under 100%, I want to know the late payment. In her case, she has 1. So she will put 1 in the late payment area for me. Okay? And it's a figure hood. All right? So she's doing really well. And take a moment to congratulate them and reaffirm that it's not as bad as they think. So this is where I would say it's not as bad as you thought it was. It's only 1 late payment. Let's back one time. I need you to tell me what the credit card utilization is in orange, y'all. So we know this is a problem. Anything in orange is telling us we got problems here. All right, so she actually only has 1 spot. That's really good. All right, so 98% is very high. We want to be below 30%, ideally down to the 7% area. And it's pretty high because she only has 2 cards, y'all, and they're both pretty low. All right, so the credit card for Fifth Third Bank is over its limit. We want to make sure we get this card down immediately because we don't want them to close the account. All right, so you want to pay this card down below $90. Ideally, if you can get this card down to $25, that would be great because then you can still continue to use the card without it affecting your credit score. And ideally, the same thing for the Fingerhut card. You want to bring this card down to $25 as well. And again, giving you an opportunity to make more purchases with Fingerhut. All right, so back one more time. I now need to know how many derogatory marks you have. She's got 2. We're going to go in them and make sure it's not a bankruptcy, which we know it's not. She only has to originally, I think it was like 7 or 8 here. Okay, so the services have been working like crazy for her. All right, so we still have 2 items here that do need to be addressed, which we will talk about in 1 second. These items will need to be disputed, so we just wanted to take a look at those items, okay? Back one more time. I need to know what your credit age. It is pretty low. If you're a renter, we can use your rent to actually build your credit score. We can take anywhere from today's date all the way back to 2 years and dump that onto your credit report, which will actually offset that one payment for you, taking you to 100%. But also changing this credit age, if we can add 2 years, we can actually push this somewhere into the 3, closer to the 4-year range for you. It's not quite the greatest because the healthy credit report has 7 to 8 years or more on it, but the closer to 7 years, the better. Okay, so we'll talk about the pricing on credit by rent, on adding a rent to your report, and you want to buy at home anyway, so it's going to need to be on the report anyway. All right, so how many total accounts do you have? All right, there's 8, and how many are there that's open and closed? So you're going to have them tap on it. There's 8 accounts that are open, 24 closed. We're going to take a look at those 24 accounts. We're not going to go through all of them, but we want to get an idea of why they're closed. We're going to look for some charge-offs. We're going to look for some paid collections. We just want to make sure that there's not more than 2 items. Technically, as of right now, we got 3 items that would need to be in dispute. And then there's 17 inquiries, so those items would need to be disputed as well. All right, so if you scroll to the very top, if you're on your phone, there's 2 rows of icons at the top. The first row, second icon says accounts. If you will tap on accounts for me, if you are on a computer, it's going to be at the very top in the menu area. Tap on accounts. When you get into accounts, it's going to give you a total number of debt. We're not worried about the debt. We're not fixing debt. We're fixing credit. But we want to see where those 24 closed accounts fall. So you're going to see that your debt is going to be broken up into categories: credit cards, collections, student loans, other loans, auto loans, and home loans. Those 24 accounts are going to fall into one of those areas, if not more. Now, you're going to be looking for, at the very bottom of each section, green wording in bold that will say show blank closed accounts. So however many closed accounts fall into that area, you're going to tap on that. How many are in the credit card area? There's 2. All right, so we're going to open those up. Let's take a look and see why those 2 are closed. We're going to come down. I don't need to know the amount of debt that needs to be paid. I just want to know what's the reasoning. You're going to come down into account detail and come to remarks. Remarks is going to tell you for what reason the account has been closed. Okay, it's a charge off. We're at 4 items that need to be disputed. All right, back out one more time. Let's go take a look at the next credit card, and it's the First Progress card. Okay, scroll down again, down into accounts, activity, into details. Let's take a look and see. Okay, and it's charged off for bad debt. We're at 5 items that need to be disputed. Okay. All right, so back out one more time. Let's come down into, is there some student loans there? Are they closed? Yes, okay. You guys, it could be a million student loans. I'm not going through all of these. I'm just gonna kind of, if it's, you know, NailNet, all NailNet is usually gonna say the same thing. Department of Education is usually gonna say the same thing. So if they're with the same lender, usually they're going to say the same thing. So I would pick one of each, not all, okay? So let's take a look at the Fed loans. Let's see. And in her case, majority of these all closed right. They're just, some are being transferred and some of hers are being paid. So I ain't gonna even go through them because it's a whole bunch of them. So let's take a look at the other loans. You got 5 there. Why are they closed? Let's take a look at this Fifth Third account. And considering you have a Fifth Third account, I want to assume this closed right because you have a Fifth Third account now. There's no way possible they would give you another account or a card if it didn't. So that's another way to save you time. When you see other accounts that are open and then there's some closed ones from the same lender, there's no way possible they have an open account and there's a closed one that's going to be a charge off. It's not happening. So you can just go right past it. Okay, so that'll save you some time. All right, so let's take a look at the errands. Seeing that there are tons of errands, I'm going to look at the oldest one first. And let's make sure this closed appropriately. 100% payment, meaning it closed naturally. Great, you did really good there. So that's awesome. So far, we still got 5 items that needs to be disputed. Let's take a look at this. 97%, awesome. Early termination obligation satisfied. You did a really good job with that. Great. Let's look at the last one. auto track. All right, and it's 100%, which means you did it all right. There's nothing wrong here. So there's 5 items to be disputed. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what we do and how we can get your accounts disputed. All right, so now that's when I go into my script. The script does not get touched until they get the value, because now they're ready to listen. And basically at that point, I then go into the company that will be doing the disputed is United Credit Education Services. We've been in business for 16 years. They're going to pull your reports for you. You don't have to go buy them. Within 5 days of you getting started, you will receive 3 different sets of letters, one for Equifax, one for TransUnion, one for Experian. All of the things that we've reviewed on your report will be on those letters. We will dispute everything all at the same time. All right, so you're going to get those letters. You're going to sign those letters. You're going to need to put a copy of your ID and your driver's license with or social security card with those letters. You're going to need to put those letters in the mail. I know you might not want to do all that, but the reason why we do that is so you don't have to do credit restoration for 24 months. Okay. All right. So the average time frame is about 5 to 8 months. Worst case scenario, 6 to 12 months. However, there are no contracts. So if you get the desired results before then, you are welcome to discontinue services. The service is a $99 setup fee, $89 a month. You will pay both together, which is $188 to get started. Do you have questions? No. When can I get you started? We're done. Any questions?
Hey, Ro, Cass had a question. If the credit card says canceled by credit grantor, is that good or negative?
Cancel by credit grantor could be both. Meaning that they don't pay. Remember we were talking about y'all not using your card, so they close the account. All right. So that's usually what that is for. Anytime you see it's closed by the grantor, most times, because if it's being closed by the grantor and you see negative payment history, it's being closed by the grantor because you in collections and it hasn't just showed up on your report. So you want to take a look at the payment history.
Can that be disputed if I never received a credit card? And I called when I signed up, I never got it. And I called them and they are aware that I never received it because I was supposed to sign for it, but they still closed it. Can that be disputed?
You can dispute anything that's negatively impacting.
Well, I don't know why I just asked that. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions?
This isn't related to the consultation. By the way, you killed it, Mama Ro. You killed it. Thank you so much. Mama Ro, I had to scream. Okay. So I just got my email for credit my rent. This might just been a mistake, but I basically followed the directions as I said. If they told me they can report the last 2 years, I've been at this residence for 6 years. Now, I just got the email, so I'm definitely going to call tomorrow and see, exactly what they reported and ask my landlord. Now, if she only reported the 2 years, is it possible to change it to get the whole 6 years I've been here?
Let's make that clear. The report, a payment history that's going to show up is going to be 2 years of payment history, but it can show that you've been there for that long, right? Hold on, let me figure out who's the client that I can show that. Benny. Hold on 1 second. Benny's it. 1 second.
How should we list that when we're filling out the credit my rent application to get the 8 to 10 years reported on the?
Hold on 1 second. You want to put, like I said, if you've been there the full time, like don't just, what people have been doing because it says 2 years, they'll just put 2018 as their lease date. That's not your lease date. Your lease date was whenever you started.
Right. When I use Credit My Rent, I put my original lease date, and I think it shows like 4 years of rental history. But like Rose says, it continues to report month to month. So the current, payments are those 2 years or whatever. But it'll show those whole past 4 years or those whole past 7 years or however long you've lived there. So if you go to apply for a mortgage lender, they're going to be like, wow, she has excellent rental history. We know she's going to pay her mortgage on time. So that's why it looks so good on your report.
Hold on 1 second. Thank you, Jade. That's the SD in here, y'all.
I have a quick question while you're looking for that. Let's say I've been somewhere 8 years. Do I put 8 leases down on that thing or just put the second lease down for like 7 years?
Hold on 1 second. y'all. 1 second. Let me pull this
If
up.
I can piggyback off Jade for Ivan right quick, because I literally just had
Go
some
ahead.
do this. Big bro, literally, if you say, let's say, I live with my parents. I've been here since 2018. But let's say if I move back in with my parents in 2015, I'm going to literally put 2015. It doesn't matter if I lived here in 2015 and my lease went to 2018 and I started a new lease in 2018. I'm going to put that I started living here in 2015.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about. Y'all see this? Here's the report. All right. So this guy had no credit age at all. All right. But as you can see, we put the lease date in as January 1st, 2012, which gave him 8 years and 8 months, right? But there's only 2 years of payment history here because that's what he paid for. All right. So he's got his 24 payments of on-time payments that he paid for, but because we put here is showing the age of the actual trade line from the time he moved in there. So let me back out, which we need to make a nice good call. We went backwards. So let me show you what the age of credit looks like. Because remember, I said it had no data. And the only reason why he has any credit age is because of Credit My Rent. So let's scroll down. Look what his credit age is. 3 years. All right. So don't go having them put, the lease date was 24 months ago. No, the lease date is the actual lease date. So if they actually been there longer than that, please put it in there because as you can see, it's going to record the full length. And then of course the credit age is averaged amongst how many accounts you have. All right. All right, any questions?
Hey, yes. Ro. Why is his credit age not 8 years and 8 months like it said on the other page?
Because he's got 2 open accounts.
Your credit age is an average. So if you have other accounts that are a lot younger, like say he just opened a credit card up like 3 months ago, it's going to average that plus his Credit My Rent or whatever other trade lines he has on there. So it's an average of all your accounts. That's why it's not the whole eight years.
He only has 3 accounts right now, and all of those 3 accounts were just open. He had no credit. No. And the 3 accounts that he just opened are 3 accounts that I just gave him. And so even with that 8 years, it's got to average against, Self-Lender being new, and I think the other one was Credit Strong being new. Those, those don't have any ability to go backwards to age it out closer to the 8 years. So those are 1 month old. You know what I mean? So when you start averaging it out, he got 3 years.
And that's also why you don't want to open up too many new accounts back to back because it always shortens your age or credit history.
Come on, Jay. Do that. Jay, come on.
Hey, Ro.
Yes.
I have a question, not to get off on the Credit My Rent, but what happens, okay, so one of my clients has student loan and deferment, and then she has 2 credit cards. One of them is secured in her name, and the other one she is on as an authorized user. Her credit score went up a few points, but it's still in the 5s, 545. So, I mean, that's the only thing else she has on her credit.
Say it again. She got student loans and deferment, and then she got an authorized user card. How old is that authorized? You see, you got to have more details in that. That's not enough.
Well, it's probably about 2 to 3 months old.
It's not enough information and probably not enough credit on her report either.
And the other one is a secure card. So how many?
Hold on, wait, Ms. Diane. How many negative items are there? Because remember, just because derogatory marks say 0, as I just showed y'all, There's stuff in the accounts area that she may not be seeing that's sitting there paying a role on her credit score. So just because it says 0, you got to go into accounts and go look for those closed accounts to see what else is negatively impacting the score. That could be the reason why she's not jumping up.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why you got to have more details.
Well, my question was how many secured cards? I guess it depends on is enough to, because I know you have to have positive credit to offset your negative credit.
Well, for credit card, okay, so the idea is not to open up 1 million secure cards. Nobody want to give up their money, pay APR interest on their own money. The idea is get them to 640 quickly, get them a secure card to start them off, but get them to 640 quickly so they can go get unsecured debt, right? A healthy credit report. So remember I said Credit Karma is going to teach us what we need to know. A healthy credit report has, total accounts, has 11 to 20 accounts on it. All right, so in her case, she needs, you said installment loan, she got student loans, that's a deferment account, and in deferment, that's installment. And then she has an authorized user account, which is revolving. And then she has her own secure card, which is revolving, right? That's what you said she had?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, and she has Credit My Rent as well.
And okay, so she got 2 installments, and so she only has 4 accounts right now. She's still technically establishing credit. So
it's not enough.
It's kind of hard to say that because you can have a 700 credit score with 1 account. It's got to be some negative items somewhere. I need more information.
Okay.
Yeah, I need more information to tell you what she needs to do. From what you're telling me with these 4 accounts, and if they're all being paid on time, there's no late payments. There's some negative accounts somewhere that she's not aware of, and they're probably in the accounts area and they're charge-offs.
Okay, I'll find out. Thank you.
You are welcome. So, and then see, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. You want to be able to hear somebody tell you something and just, run it through your head to the point where you can make a call on it. You telling me she has 4 accounts, and if those 4 accounts all have 100% payment history and she's still in the 5s, there's got to be some negative items that we're not aware of, period.
Hey, Ro.
Yes.
Cass wants to know if he's or I'm sorry, if they, I don't know if that's a female or male, I don't want to give genders, but if they are already in the 640, would you still recommend getting a secured credit card? Go
for the unsecured. Long as payment history is looking good, they're in the 98th percentile area, 640. Go and get you an unsecured card.
Hey, Ro, there's a question in the chat box. If a spouse is not on the mortgage, but they are on the deed, could they use Credit My Rent?
Credit My Rent, absolutely.
Even if they're on the deed?
Immediately, yes.
Okay. All right.
They pay that mortgage, let them get some credit. Absolutely. That's my first question when I talk to somebody with a mortgage. Are both of y'all on it? Any other questions? Was this helpful? I want to give it up to Lance.
So much.
I want to give it up to Lance Petway.
Yes.
Lance Petway for all of his knowledge that he so freely gives. And we found out today that SDJ Thomas is a hog out here. So thank you guys for jumping in, and anyone else that added in. This is not a one-man show. We all win by helping each other. So I'm so grateful that y'all weren't shy to jump in and add value to this call, because we all win when we all know more. And I still got more to learn my dang self. So anybody else?
Anybody else got any more questions? If not, we'll go ahead and wrap up. This was a game. Words can't describe. This is a game changer, guys. We're gonna. This is being recorded. We'll once it finishes rendering, we'll post it on the Superstars Nation Facebook page. But, watch this thing over and over again. if you can cast it up on your TV, go to sleep to it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'd like really watch this training over and over again. And Ro, hopefully we'll be able to share the slides with us.
Yes, I'm gonna send you the slides now. I can actually upload them. I'll upload them.
Okay, very good, very good. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. All right, guys, we're going to close out the call, but I never want to close the call without giving our leadership opportunity to close out if they have anything to say. If Tony Camilleri or Kendra Pack, if you got any, you guys got anything to add before we close out? VP, SVP?
Yeah.
Hi. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get myself together. This was amazing. I can't put enough Z's in it. Ro, you really knocked it out the park. That is truly leadership at its excellency. We have Ivan. Thank you for everything that you do for the team. Hosting, moderation, introduction, technical support, all of those things. You guys truly are phenomenal. And of course, you know, Lance is always there in the clutch. He's always our number 4th batter. He always knocks it out the park. And I just truly appreciate, this is VPs in the making. And I truly appreciate being a part of the team. I sat back as if I was an agent because I wanted to get everything and absorb everything just like a sponge. So sometimes we do have to start from square one again, you know, learning the 5 elements to our credit. I mean, it's never, ever too much learning in the basics arena because we're not pinnacle yet. So there's always room for us to grow. Yeah. And thank you, Ro, for being so transparent.
No problem. I do want to say to everyone, there's, if I'm not mistaken, I saw 83 people on the call at the top. You guys, don't get to the place where you see titles or who's training. I love that Jade stepped up and showed us that she has knowledge. Don't let that knowledge sit in the back and don't nobody know what you know. Leadership isn't about moving people, it's about moving ourselves. And people follow that. They're not really following you, they follow your disciplines. So I just want to encourage all of you. You might be a field trainer, you might be a might be an SD, you might be an agent, but you have something to add value to. Sharpen your tools, because there is a stage, a platform for you to open up your mouth and we will listen. You can impact all of us to grow in this business. Everybody has an important voice. I do want to ask you, please do not be scared. See, when you step into leadership, and when I say leadership, I'm not talking about a title, okay? I'm talking about stepping into a place where you are willing to put yourself on the front line so that the back of the line can come ahead of you. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about exactly what Ivan is doing. I'm talking about what VP Kendra Pack has done over the many years. The same things that, you know, SVP has done, the same things that VP Lance Petway has done, the same things that I have done. We've selflessly give so that for the betterment of the team. It's some more leaders that we ain't heard from. I'm calling y'all out. The weight can't be on the shoulders of who y'all see on a repetitive basis. We all have to shoulder the weight of superstars. If we want to see more stars on the stage at convention, all of us have to shoulder the weight. We all have to do videos in the group. Whatever you're experiencing in your region, somebody else might need it. So I just wanted to place that on you because it was Kendra Pack that told me to do the overview at Field Trainer. And I was like, no. And she said, when you stand up, your money stand up, and she ain't never lied to me. Our leaders will never steer you wrong. Listen to SVP, listen to VP Kendra Pack, listen to VP Lance Petway, listen to RSD Ivan Brown. They will not steer you wrong. So if they're asking you to do something, don't y'all tell them no. It's for your good, I guarantee. I would not be ESD if they didn't ask me to do anything. I'd probably still be an agent hiding. I'm done.
Wow. Well, hey, I'll follow that up, Ro. Great training, man. That's awesome. But hey, speaking of what you just said, who's going to step up and introduce the call this week? I need someone to introduce the call. So that's perfect timing. You know, guys, people have been stepping up and, you know, asking me every week, which has been really cool. So I'll just kind of get ahead of it and just say, hey, if you want to do it, let me know, and we'll get you to introduce the call, because definitely we got to get you stepping out of your comfort zone. We've got to get.
Janelle says you will.
Who did? Who said?
Janelle.
Janelle. All right, cool.
Janelle.
Janelle, I'm gonna put you in the calendar. And man, you know, I have nothing much to add other than, you know, it's all been said. But listen, so now let's put it into practice. That's all I have to say, is that let's have conversations, start talking to people. I mean, it's funny. I got a call today from a referral source that I set up. It literally took me almost 2 years to get this guy to send me people, and they trickle in every so often. I haven't got one in a while, but you know what? It was an auto dealer guy, and she has bad credit, and we had the conversation, and she's getting signed up. You know what I mean? So guys, you just have to keep talking to people. Keep talking to people. Everybody, remember, it's not necessarily the person that you're talking to that needs the service, but they can refer you to someone. So you have to create referral sources everywhere. And the more activity you get, you can't worry about the no's and the naysayers and the people. I mean, listen, I get it. The person I was talking to today, I had to overcome. She was like, oh, I paid for one of those services before and it didn't work. And then my score went down and blah, blah, blah. So what do? You have to ask questions. Remember, I could have just been like, oh, she's negative. She doesn't want to sign up. She doesn't want to pay for a service. But I asked enough questions, and then she's like, all right, I'm going to give this another shot. You know what I mean? Because I was like, well, what are your options? To stay with the bad credit because it's not going anywhere? She had a bunch of stuff, negative items on her credit. And she was told that, well, when you dispute those things, if they come off, then your score will go down. I'm like, well, yeah, it's possible that could happen temporarily, right? But we have to build positive credit history. I said, that's why our program is comprehensive, and it's all the factors together. I was like, but you do need to get rid of those negatives if you want to buy a home one day, right? She was calling because of a car, but then I asked her, hey, have you ever thought of, well, of course I asked her about the credit, my rent. Guys, every question will lead to something different, because she's like, yeah, I'm a renter. And I was like, well, listen, have you thought about buying a home? Oh man, I don't know if that's possible. Like, she literally thinks it's just an impossible feat. But guess what? I started talking with her and gave her hope and a game plan. And now we're totally switched her, took her all the way around from just trying to get a second car to thinking about being able to buy a house. So again, just talk to everybody, guys. Make sure that you're having the conversations. Be consistent with your posting. If you're not getting results, I've heard people say, well, I've talked to 10 people and none of them signed up. That's okay. I've talked to 100 people and they didn't sign up. So, but you know what? They will with the follow-up. So make sure you put this into action now, okay? Create enough activity so that you can use this. And you're not going to be perfect at it the first time. You know, you have to keep practicing. That's what's called building and growing. So don't be afraid to get started, stay consistent, keep going. And guys, listen, we got 2 weeks left. I know a lot of you are still pushing for titles. We're going to do some more webinars. We're going to jump on this last 2 weeks. We got to stay on our game and be intentional about this, because I don't care where you're sitting right now. You have the ability to hit the next title. Okay. You can do it. Just keep pushing, and then it'll carry your momentum in there. I know some of you may be a little bit tired, right? We're coming into, it's like 3 weeks. We've got 2 weeks left. You're like, man, my family's like, what are you doing? I need you to do this and that. 2 more weeks, okay? A little less than 2 weeks. You can do it. Just like a marathon. You go through that, if you ever ran or you've been in sports, you get to that point where you're kind of hitting the wall. I know a lot of you right now are probably hitting that wall, and that's okay. Push through it. Stay plugged in. Get the energy from the team, and you will make it. Do you need any help? Call your upline. Call us. We're here for you. We want to encourage you to get there. This is where you dig in. Leaders dig in. Winners dig in right now and finish strong. Okay? Finish strong. Don't give up. Don't feel like it can't happen. This is your time, and I'm proud of all of you for getting on this training. It was awesome to see these numbers on a call on Tuesday. Again, back to all you leaders. You guys are amazing. That was awesome. Keep going, guys. Turn it back to you, Ro. Thank you. Oh, Ivan, are you done? You wrapping it up?
Yeah, we're wrapping it up, guys. All right. So as soon as this call is over, we'll go ahead and Zoom will bake it, render it, and we'll put it up on the Superstars page along with the charts. Hey guys, y'all have a great evening. Great training, Ro. Oh my gosh, kudos to you. Just thank you, Ro, for this training. And
hey, Ivan, just one more question. Is there still training at 9 tonight, or?
Is that from BP University?
Yeah.
I believe it was shifted to today, so it should still be on as far as I know.
All right.
All right, guys. Y'all have an amazing evening. Good night.